I'm good on Facebook. I'm good. Ladies and gentlemen, 2 home runs. How about how? We're going to go over that and so much more. You're not going to want to miss it. I am Mark Melnick, and this is the Newsbeat Show. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Newsbeat Show. A lot of people in this environment, they had a really, hard time trying to read things and read certain moves. And it's honestly been a little fearful market for a lot of people. But today I want to go over exactly how we called the bottom, how we nailed it, how we played it, timestamps, everything. I think it's very important to visualize because it gives us a good projection of the future. And that's going to be so amazing. And we have so many great things for you and so much more. But first, by watching this video, you are agreeing to hold me, Mark Melnick, and T3 Live harmless and not responsible for anything shown on this video. If you do not agree to that, simply exit. If you do agree to that, that means you're continuing to watch because you're automatically agreeing to it. So let's just get right to the point in like what we did here. I think it's very important to understand the most important tweet here. So here are the tweets that we are sending to our members. Here's a succession of tweets right here. And this I thought was the most important tweet. So I started off yesterday. If you can't read that, it's 3:16 p.m. on June 3rd. And I don't know why Twitter uses such a soft gray when putting in dates. Anyway, so simply took triple Q calls, 170 calls, paid $2.13. And this by far was the most important tweet. And then obviously I bought more afterwards. But this was the most important tweet. And I'm going to show you why. This was the most important tweet for a very, very big reason because it's 338. And I will tell you what every single trader out there is thinking and the difference between what I was thinking and at least why I made the call. I think that's a pretty fair question to ask. I think that's a pretty fair want or curiosity that must potentially be further satiated. So just to go right back and show you one more time, you see this yellow arrow at the bottom of this red bar? This was after the close, and the market was gapping down. And on this day on the Newsbeat show, this was the show for what, May 31st, June 1st? I think May 31st right here. Yep. This was the day where we're saying we're going to be buying tomorrow at the close. That is the point where we're coming out to you and saying, yeah, this is where we're going to buy tomorrow at the close. The market started plummeting. People got very fearful. What a coincidence, hits our trend line and bounces. So when it's right by our trend line, check this out. At 338, you're told to stay tuned. I'm going to show you exactly how we did it. I'm just taking you through the steps. Why 338 was important? Because yesterday at 338, I'll even show you on the 1 minute what the market looked like at 338 yesterday. So this was Monday's move, and you saw we obviously plummeted. We were telling it to you the day before that we're going to buy at the close. This is 338 right over here. This candle right after you just made a day low. I was actually typing in the tweet on this candle as it looked like it was going to get destroyed. I noticed on the 1 minute that they started selling off with lighter volume. And at this point, when the Qs are at their dead low, that is exactly where you need to have the most confidence. So I sent out a how often do I do this? Never, first time ever. I come out and I'm like opening up more between 350 and 4, most likely stay tuned. So even after we bought the Q calls at 3:16 p.m., at 3:38 p.m. we're like, calm down, we're going to buy at the close. 3:54 p.m. bought AMD, 3:51 p.m. bought Facebook. Next day, you exploded up. Step 3 was have fun. So you knew step 1 was a projection of where to buy tomorrow and when to buy, more importantly. But I also want to point out something on the triple Qs, which I find interesting. For those who have taken our algorithmic trendline course, look how the Qs bottom. Right over, just to zoom it in. You can't zoom it in all the way because it's a daily chart. You are putting in, right, it was right by the trend line, but right over here, you are putting in a bottoming 5-minute candle on a hammer. And if you actually look in the past of the triple Qs after falling, when you put in those hammers right over here is one on Friday at 9:55 p.m., you rallied hard. So I noticed that there was a 5-minute change that could affect the daily for tomorrow. It was obviously a very important 5-minute candle for me. Now, very importantly, so that was one home run call. You might see GME down $5.60 tonight. Not to say that Christmas doesn't come twice, or they always say like on Hanukkah, some people say they get like 7 gifts. Is that true? This is just two. All right. I don't know if I could beat the Hanukkah numerical value. Maybe not the Christmas one either. You get like 100 Christmas gifts, but nonetheless, Christmas came twice for us. It wasn't enough that we nailed the bottom of the market, predicted it the day before, and crushed it. GME reported tonight, and they're getting decimated. Now, I know I put a $0 target on this, and I knew the earnings were going to be horrendous, but I wanted to just buy the calls anyway because I've seen stupid names like these go up. And what I did right here at 3:49 p.m. is I took an earnings straddle. Very simple option strategy. I basically bought calls and puts and predicted a large move would happen. Now, I don't know where it's going to open up tomorrow, but I paid 68 cents for this spread, or $68. Now, I would argue I'm not an options expert here, but holding $7.50 puts in GME, what are those worth on a Wednesday? Expiring this week, it has to have some value, like beyond just the full price of the like stock. I mean, what are you guys thinking? How you option experts in the room? Where do you think these 250 puts would open if this stock opens at 558 where it is right now? I mean, this is going to be, anything can happen between now and tomorrow morning, but this is looking like a home run. This is looking like a home run. To give you an example, these calls would be like what? More than $2 though. 230, Robert? At 230, that would be pretty much a quadruple. 1.80 to 230. I guess it depends. Well, it should be worth more than $1.80 because it's at 558. So it'd have to be higher than that. I know you're estimating now it's 560. So yeah, I see what you're saying. But the bottom line is this was the second name that we called for an overnight long. It's it's almost it's a weird feeling. It's a weird feeling to be gifted so well in this market with presence like this. And honestly, it's the collective of the Newsbeat room that brings these things to us. So I'm going to actually show you like that is really ultimately the importance of implied conviction. I think conviction gets very lost and people just don't know how to really rate their own conviction trades. I think many traders are taught, here's what it is. This is exactly what you do. There's nothing changing. You just do that day in, day out, day in, day out, day in, day out. And I think if you approach the market with that mentality, you're going to have so much psychological toxicity that you'll eventually blow up. But when you have something very measured, and I'll show you exactly what I mean. So today the room was focusing in on Netflix. We're watching two names today, and then I discounted and threw away the letter X. I'll show you if I can get my Twitter up. But bottom line is everybody was focusing in on Netflix. We did a one and done strategy. One and done strategy buys right through from 934 using the Newsbeat live name. In 1 minute, this stock went from 343.98 to 346.45. smack in, 1 minute, you're done. Less than 5 minutes. 5 minutes, 9:35, people started dropping off in the room like flies. And that's how I know when a good one and done goes off, when I see people log out, because they're just calling it a day. These calls exploded. Not only that, you could have done our high one strategy. That strategy would have worked. Another strategy that worked was, of course, the know your limit. And that was right over here, buying right here on the exponential 8. That was a home run type move. But between nailing the bottom of the market and between this GME, I want to talk about GME. I think it's very important. I'm going to give my fundamental analysis here on the put side because I think it's a very important it's a very important conversation. Okay, so GameStop reports 7 cents may not compare to a consensus of a loss of 3. 1.5 billion in revenue, that misses the 1.64 billion in revenue. Severance and other charges of 11.2 million or 9.7 million net of taxes. Total sales down 5 to 10%. That's going to keep going. Comparable store sales down 5 to 10%. That's going to keep going. Capital expenditures 100 million to 110 million. GameStop says board has eliminated quarterly dividend. Oh, so now you can't hold this name for a dividend anymore. Gotcha. Cool. I understand it's probably good overall for the company, but your stock price is going to plunge. This is a sub-billion dollar company. Believe it or not, it's worth less than $1 billion now. And it's like shown everywhere. Like it's hard to find very common chains out there where you see them everywhere that are worth less than $1 billion. Let's put it that way. It's very rare. It exists, but it's very rare. Um, so just looking, I mean, this is what I found the most interesting. They say collectible business will be a big part of the business going forward. Now, many people don't actually know what that means because the company is very vague, but I'm going to fill in the blanks and show you exactly what the company means when they say that. Now, if you've ever walked in a GameStop in the past year, I have. I have. I happen to be near a GameStop. I go in, I look around. It's a ton of things that I would rather buy online. There's a saying here for no-name shops for people who collect baseball cards or football cards or magic cards or Pokemon cards or comic books. They usually refer themselves to the local game store. They'll usually have tables where people could play. I was saying that GameStop should get into that business from the beginning. That was what I was saying. They need to re-outfit their entire stores to make it a place not just with collectibles, but with a place that people can hang out. I think they're crazy. I think they should throw sofas in every single one of their stores, have a sign in to play on the black leather couch for a certain amount of time. You pay for play. So you have a bunch of kids in your store at all times playing video games. Kids attract kids, attract kids, attract kids. Parents go and they get their kids, and purchases are made. That's what GME needs to do. That's what GameStop needs to do. It's almost shocking. It's almost shocking to see that they're coming out with this so late. Now, to turn yourself into a collectible store, if you've ever been inside the GME, there's this Funko Pop and these little characters of the video games, and like it pretty much looks like this. Pretty much looks like this. You have like these little characters here that are from places, Warcraft, Game of Thrones, Disney. I mean, they have everything. That's the sort of, there are other collectibles too, like figurines, and that sort of business died a long time ago. The only thing is that is their most popular selling product because people would go inside a GameStop, a parent wouldn't buy their kid a game, and they settled for a $9, $8, $15, $14 Funko Pop toy for their kid. Notice when you go to a newsstand, They have all the candy right out front because people aren't going to the newsstand to buy a newspaper. The drinks. They're selling other things besides newspapers. GameStop is going to try to sell these collectibles. And I think it's a move in the right direction. I think they're screwing it up, though. You want to know some of these professional gamers now are making tens of millions of dollars. Imagine they should take all the money that they're hemorrhaging and throw it at professional gamers who will give people GameStop merchandise. Players who want to support their favorite gamer. Who's going inside a GameStop? A gamer. It's the word game. How do you know it's for gamers, Mark? It says game in the front. It's a GameStop. Maybe they'll sell board games. Maybe there'll be a revival of the cool section of Toys R Us. Who knows? You remember Toys R Us? Yeah, you remember that. Yeah, that was fun. I don't want to grow up. I don't want to tech up. I'm losing to online biz. There's a million things you could buy on Amazon that you wouldn't come within 100 meters of our store for. And the company just basically went bankrupt. GameStop needs to, if the CEO is listening to this show, if anybody in the company is listening to this show, I will tell you right now, just fund professional gamers. You have the brand. People know who you are. Nobody wants to buy crap in your store. Stop selling. You know what it is? GameStop is for people who never knew, like people who don't own the internet will walk inside a GameStop and buy a console. That's it. That's what it is. And people who are like, mom, dad, brother, sister, friend, partner, uncle, next door neighbor, best friend's friend's friend. Nobody wants to buy any of their garbage. They need to switch themselves into. It reminds me of GNC, another stock we had a $0 target on. Never got there, guys. Did hit $1.36 though. Nobody wants to go inside a GNC. It smells like a pharmacy. GNC. It smells like a total pharmacy. And it's just you could buy better products online cheaper. There's something to say about certain restaurants that will survive. Restaurants will survive. You know, walk inside a mall. Go. The food court is the most packed place by far in the entire mall, always. So GME's, yes, that's exactly. There's no mixed messages. GME's business model is horrible. That is the bottom line. And if they're smart, they're going to start supporting professional gamers. That's what they're going to do. They're going to support professional gamers. They're going to take the new game coming out and they're going to stream exclusive content by putting these gamers on salary, streaming exclusive content just for them. So even if the gamer has a huge Twitch.tv following, imagine getting exclusive content from GameStop.com. And while you're watching GameStop.com, do you want PewDiePie's or whoever famous streamers keyboard? Do you want their mouse? Do you want their headset? There's a little ad. Click. Yeah, I'll do that. Convert all your stores into LAN rooms, high-end LAN rooms. Imagine there was a bar serving soda in the back and candy. They do such a bad job selling that. I'm serious. Like, you can't sell video games anymore. You can't. Everything is a digital download. Everybody looks to do things as the most effectively and efficiently as possible. Somebody wants to buy your game, we'll give it to you right now online. Boom, click, you're downloaded. It costs money. Granted, you paid for it. It doesn't cost money, like some of the most competitive games on the planet. Beautiful. It's free. Why am I going to go drop $60, $70 on the new Spider Man game? I'm not. I also don't have time for that crap. Steam pretty much killed GME. Yeah, exactly. That's so true. It's an excellent point. Don't fight the flow. Conform. Any garbage you sell in your store is not going to be cheaper than Amazon. GameStop needs exclusivity. I understand that you're happy selling the Funko toys. And I understand how that could, because they're looking at where all their revenue is coming in. And those little Funko toys are their best sellers because a lot of times they're rare, they run out of shipments, they become collectibles, they go up in value. It's a collectible, literally a collectible. So when they say they're going to be in the collectible business, that's exactly what it means. It means if you buy something in that store, there's a chance in the future, near term, midterm, long term, that that thing sealed in its original form is going to go up in value. So when I see a GameStop not doing that and not going down that direction, it's discouraging me. It makes me feel the board doesn't get it. I think they're making a good move here in the collectible business. They say it's going to be a big part of the business going forward. I don't know what that means, but it better mean exactly what I'm saying. Because otherwise, nobody is going to give a you know what about you, and nobody is going to want to buy anything from you. You know what people do to GameStop? Everybody gets a. It's funny. Like sometimes with these Funko toys, somebody bought me one actually for what was it? Blanca, whatever in Street Fighter. Anyway, when it comes to an actual GameStop, what happens is a lot of these $10 Funko Pop toys will start selling for 25, 30 immediately on eBay because they are popular and there are people who just buy tons of them to resell because they're limited quantity prints. And then they'll just look and they'll go to their local GameStop and buy it for retail price of $9.99 or $10 and flip it on eBay for a higher price. And there are a lot of people, a lot of GameStop's business is exactly what I just told you just now. That's the only reason why people would buy. So you'd say, why even buy it from them? Because GameStop could take them off their shelves and sell them for double. You have 30,000 of those right now. That's funny. Those Funko things. Um, but I do find it, I do find it very, very interesting. I think they're making the right move. If it is how they described it, I am just, they say their Power Up Rewards has 60 million members. It's time to capitalize on it. GameStop could definitely do it. And I know I'm sitting here in the company I put $0 target on, holding a strangle puts that are, I don't even know where they're going to open up tomorrow. But it's going to be nice. Lose got in very last minute. Well, well, sir. I'm just saying there are a lot of people who are messaging me that tonight that they actually got in GameStop at the very last minute. There's an important tweet. Why can't I pull up this Twitter? There. Silly me. There we go. So right over here at 3:49 p.m. today, June 4th, taking earnings lottos. You pay 68 cents. Even if you're like super wrong, you rarely lose half your value by the morning. Like maybe, like let's say the stock opened up zero or down zero, which nobody dreams of with GameStop. You knew it was going to be awful or really good. In this case, really awful with a good long-term game plan, or a better, excuse me, not good, a better long-term game plan. Still, the company needs to not be run by executives. The company needs to be run by the highest end earning gamers. That's what this company needs to be run on. You take your budget, you take the 100 million, whatever you're making, you take 10 of those millions, and you buy yourself some professional teams and get yourself some professional exposure. You build out your online platform similar to Twitch. Don't reinvent the wheel. You don't have to. You become an instant competitor of Twitch overnight. And there's going to be more competitors of Twitch for the companies that are smarter enough to buy out these pro gamers. Dota 2, League of Legends, very important games. Fortnite, PUBG, all these games. These are the games that you need to sell, not the one-on-one games, not the hope somebody forgot a Christmas present, at the last minute, running in the store, calling the other kid's parents saying, "What should I buy your son? Does he have this game in the RM? Will he like it? You don't know? I don't know either. I'll just buy it." And running in GameStop and purchasing it real quick because you need it right there. And don't you guys act like you don't know what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. The last minute gift. The pharmacy gifts shop. When you walk in the pharmacy and there's the gift section in the pharmacy. You know what happened. You know what happens there. Last minute gifts. But that's what GME felt like. Honestly, 3:49 p.m. It was a last minute gift. It's funny. As seen on TV at CVS. Exactly, Wilson. As seen on TV. Exactly. I mean, you think, look, if GameStop wants to hire me, I would do it for free. How's that? I wouldn't charge them a dime. If they called me up for my advice, it would be my honor to help a store like that. It's kind of funny. It used to be actually back in the day without GameStop. Does anybody remember a place called Electronic Boutique? I think they had one in the Kings Plaza Mall, Green Acres in New York. There are other EB, Electronic Boutique. I mean, they're all over. It used to be there was no smartphone, there was no internet, and you would run in the store. I would run in the store as a kid, and I would get so excited. I'd look at the boxes, and I would look at the back of the box and read the game and get little snippet boxes of the graphics, and it was the coolest thing ever to hold. It was the coolest thing ever. Sam Goody, exactly. It was the coolest thing ever to hold. And you would go through every game, and then eventually your parents would be like, "Come on, we have to go now." And you would be like, "No, no, no." And you would just like reach out, and it would just be like falling away from you. But now, no, that's not like how it is anymore. I want to look up a game. Click, click, click. I could see it. Oh, click here to download for free. Click. You think I'm running out to a GameStop before I could do that? What I'm saying is I want Alexander's. Yeah, in Kings Plaza. That's right, Alexander's. Got some New Yorkers here. But right now, I'm actually have a great thought for what's actually going to happen for next week. Congratulations, of course, to everybody in GameStop. Congratulations to quote the Netflix one and done. Congratulations to everybody who went long everything yesterday at the dead bottom. And we're going to actually go over now where we think the market's actually going to go from here. It's actually a projection for next week. That is for Newsbeat Live members only. For $49, you too could be part of this, and you could hear more of the sweet opinions and serenade of my voice. For just $49, I could be talking like this for more minutes than you already get here. For more minutes on these videos, for more thoughts and opinions on what GameStop should do next, for more thoughts and opinions where the market can go next, and so much more, including our algorithmic levels. Oh, algorithmic levels, just real quick. That reminds me on Facebook. So people were very curious because at 161.08 yesterday, we had an algorithmic bottom on Facebook. There are people who are part of this trade. I'll be honest, I was not in it. But just to show you the value, imagine getting this at 10:06 a.m. on June 4th. Is that the right one? 160, 108? Yep. And you can see right over here, comes down, hits 160, 101. Right over there. Bounces. Comes back down, hits the algorithmic trend line again, bounces, comes back, stutters on the algorithmic trend line, and rallies. You're telling me robots don't control the market? It's kind of funny yesterday when I said it's not just me who thinks the market's going to bounce. I also said it's the robots. The robots also thought Facebook was going to bounce here. That is how we called as close to the dead bottom as you want on Facebook. Today, even 160.84. Low we called 160.108 today in Facebook. In this volatile market, there are ways to call the bottom of the market. You all know how important it is in an environment like this right now, where calling a top or bottom is crucial, especially when you get these wide range bars. I have a really good thought of what's going to happen into the next week. I'm actually going to show you a new form of technical analysis and what I'm using to justify something big that's going to happen next week. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for making the Newsbeat community just really what it is. The most amazing group of traders that I have ever had the privilege ever of knowing. Happy trading, make money. We'll see you guys tonight for why we think the market's going to go up and tomorrow morning on the Newsbeat live trading broadcast. Have a wonderful evening.